Hola, mis amigos. It's your favorite pendejo gringo, full primal power, Patrick, your mom's favorite powerlifter, top 50 powerlifter of all time. What is up, Rose Bears, Muscle Mommies? Welcome back to another episode of I complain about deadlifting a lot, but I'm kind of sort of getting good at it. It's kind of like when you take one for the team, when your buddy is trying to hit on a 10 out of 10 that he has no chance with, and you end up having a happily ever after with her duff of a friend that was gatekeeping her at the bar. What we got going on today, we are about 29 days out from the American Pro 3, the Super Bowl of powerlifting. And we're deadlifting today. Yesterday we squatted, today's deadlifts, and tomorrow is bench. A little bit of a scuffed up week because we did our last day of working in the school system until the meet. And basically, I worked 6 weeks with the children, and I got sick 6 weeks in a row. And my CNS can't take that, so I have to go through other options, other routes to make sure that I am primed and ready to go full primal on the buttocks of my competitors. Can't say the full wording that I want to because YouTube is a crummy algo lord. But what we got going on today, we've got deadlifts, and it's a down undulation for deadlifts. Last week we hit 715 for a 1x1 after doing, I think it was a 1x1 at 695. And this week it's a down undulation, which means we are reducing the load but increasing the volume to kind of keep our diving board of athleticism in line. Our CNS still primed, but primed differently. We're kind of in a transitionary period between transitioning from, like, pretty much going from a marathon runner to a sprinter. That's what we're doing. Kind of. Trying to put it in layman's terms. What we have is, I still need to check the program. I've said this like 2 or 3 videos in a row that I need to check what the program is, because it's either 600 or 605 for an 8x1 90 seconds rest. Usually what my coach does is he'll do an 8x1 60 seconds rest, but he knows how I am as a human, and I don't do 60 seconds rests because I get stressed out watching the clock thinking 60 seconds done yet, 60 seconds done yet, not yet. So what I do is I deadlift, I take a sip of water, I rechalk my hands, go right back in, and it comes out to like 30 to 45 seconds of rest. So the way that he is dealing with that personality trait of mine, kind of funny knowing that my coach is programming around my personality. Is it a fault? That's something. Is it a positive personality trait? I don't really know. But I'm gonna go with the idea that it is a positive personality trait, and I'm super cool for doing things like that. I got the nose to the grindstone. I'm super tough. But 8x1, 600 or 605 pounds, and then we got our hip adduction goblet squat, half goblet squat, and calves. And so I wanted to be at the gym at 6:30. I mean, it probably would be dark right now at 6:30, but not this dark. We've got just over 12 hours of sunlight here in the sunshine state of New Hampshire. Yeah, sunrise is around 6:30-ish, and sundown is around 6:30-ish right now. And it is 9 p.m. right now. So today was my last day working at the school. I was working in the middle school today in a class called Tech Ed. You would think, oh, you're the computer guy. No, I wasn't. It was the woodworking class. Why that's technology education beats me. A lot of those tools haven't changed since I was in middle school. But yeah. First period of the day was a free period. So they were like, okay. And then second period of the day, the kids were on a field trip. So my first period of the day where I actually had to be at school was noon, but I didn't have any errands to run. So I wasn't like picking my stuff up and leaving for a bit and then coming back because I just didn't really feel like it. So I sat on my buttocks at the teacher's desk and I doom scrolled on YouTube Shorts from 9 a.m. to noon. About really bad for the mental health, which also means I have parental locks on my phone. Right now, I'm off of almost all social media because it negatively affects my mental health, and I don't want to be. You got two lifters, equal lifters, doing the same program, same genetics. The lifter who does the most to recover is the lifter that's going to win. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of a mental edge because I'm not stressing out about social media right now. But I still got YouTube going, and it kind of sucks the way that YouTube does things, but I get why they do things. There's the YouTube Studio app, which allows you to look at the analytics and respond to comments and things like that on YouTube. But in order to post things like shorts, and I'm updating my shorts as frequently as, I mean, I'm trying to post something every day, whether it be a long form video or a short. And right this week, I don't have any edited long form videos, so I'm posting a short every day, and that requires me to have the actual YouTube app on my phone. So I can't do the YouTube stuff that I want to do while deleting the YouTube app off my phone. I still want to see the analytics. I still want to post things, and I want to keep the channel growing, build the community, and all that jazz for you guys. But that's the only thing I got going for social media. But I've got 15-minute timer on my YouTube, but I superseded that today. Usually it locks me out, but I disabled the timer today so I could just sit around and do nothing, which I probably shouldn't have done. I'm in the process of reading the Michael Crichton book, Rising Sun, and I'm about halfway through that book. It's a really good book. A little bit of a weeboo book before that term even existed. But that's what we're doing. We should have just read that while I drank my coffee, which Duncan 100% messed up this morning. But I didn't. So when I got home, the app was still unlocked, and I found myself doom scrolling while I was eating my pre-gym meal at 6:30. So I'm not getting the insulin response spike that I usually get going into training. Probably not, because that was 2.5 hours ago. I have a I have a problem when it comes to doom scrolling, and I've been trying to alleviate that, which is why I deleted Instagram and Facebook off of my phone for the 8 weeks leading into the American Pro 3, just so I'm not stressed out about that. But I need. It's always easy to find a way to justify having something on your phone. I don't have any games on my phone. The closest thing I have to games on my phone is a manga reader app. It's the only entertainment I have on my phone. Other than that, my phone is just business uses only. But the business is social media. So, which, I mean, if you go about it in a certain way, like social media is a game, yeah, it is a game. But right now, I'm totally focused on training and building the YouTube. So I've got 1/3 of the stress, but it's almost a lot of the YouTube shorts is the same as Instagram Reels. So I'm just getting a lot of dopamine from that, which I should not be doing. I need a dopamine detox. So what I probably should do is on Sunday, I think I should edit I've got 29 days. I'm about 2 months behind on videos. I might just record a new and post a new long form video every single day leading up into the American Pro 3. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. You guys will just have to see what I'm doing. And then I'll be able to, once I make all the thumbnails, which requires me to have YouTube on my phone, because I don't do staged thumbnails. I do screen capped thumbnails, and then I that's why my thumbnails look very similar. I need to find a new format for doing thumbnails. But I'm at the gym. I gotta go take a dump because as I drove the poop chute, I'm a Pez dispenser, except instead of loading me up from the bottom and it coming out of the top, I load up through the top and it comes out the bottom. And I got to go clear that out because I'm going to do some power clenching called deadlifts. And I don't want to be pooping. I have extra underwear in my car. I don't want to use it, you know? Everyone keeps underwear in their glove box, right? Just in case. I feel like everyone over 30, maybe over 40, if you're an average person, should have underwear in your glove box. Whether or not it's yours or your last date's, that's up to you, boys. If you have an emergency thong as a dude, kudos to you. Anyways, I'll meet you guys back with my recap, my post commentary going on to the videos of me lifting. See you guys there. Throw me in Dota and don't let me jungle. Call me mid, boys, because that training day was pretty mid. And I apologize in advance for the drop in audio quality. I apparently have foreign material in my charging port, and my lav mic won't let me connect because something's in my charging port. So we're going without the lav mic for this drive home and this analysis. So I apologize. So how did today go? I already said it was kind of mid, and I expected it to be mid because it was kind of programmed to be as mid as possible. Like not like your stepsister or your cousin who's like, it sucks that they're hot. It's like all the other girls in the world because they're just mid, and it's like, why must the ones that my parents told me not to try and get with be the hot ones? So we start off with the lock base 5, and that's probably going to be the longest video of this section because it was singles and we deadlift pretty fast because it's only 606 pounds. So we did lock base 5, clamshells, plank, side plank, shoulder taps, and then donkey kicks. And then we did our other priming work, which is chest supported thoracic spine extended rows, dumbbell rows. So we got that going on too. And then we were able to start deadlifting. We warmed up pretty fast. We did one set of 3 with 1 red. We did one set of 2 with 3 reds. And then the working weight was 5 reds, which is 606 with the collars. If you use pound plates with the kabuki bar, hand your testicles over because you're not a real man. You're just, never will you ever have the opportunity on a competition platform to use a kabuki bar and pound plates. So if you're doing that, you're trying to cheat somehow because you get more width because the weights are spread out further, and that's not cool. That's not cool. Let someone who actually knows what they're doing use the kabuki bar. I hate the kabuki bar, and I hate the necessity, and I hate that I have to gatekeep it. Everything about the kabuki bar is stupid, and I hate it. But I compete on it, so I have to use it. So how did the deadlifts go? Mid as fuck. That's what it boils down to. Just mid as fuck. Was I struggling with anything? No. Yeah. It's like,
I don't want to say it's 50% because I can't say it's 60%, so it's like 70%, I think. I'm not going to do the math in my head. But, yeah, it's not that heavy. We're doing it for singles, so it shouldn't be. There shouldn't be anything going wrong. The only difficult part is the frequency of the deadlift, because it was kind of a low rest period. Only 90 seconds of rest for 8 sets. So the last set, I had a little bit of a lower back pump. It felt good. What I look for when I video my deadlifts, and what you all should be doing if you are videoing your lifts, you should not be videoing your lifts for the sake of, hey, I can get views on Instagram or YouTube with my lifts. You should not do that. That is not the point of videoing your lifts. The only reason I post my lifts is because I have this idea that whatever you do, make sure that you can somehow profit from it, so that the sunk cost is less than just time, which is part of the reason why I don't play video games anymore, because you're not making anything off of that, and the skill set that you're developing for that is only applicable to video games, and I'm never going to be a competitive video game player. So me practicing to be good at video games, because that's what you got to do these days, is a waste of time for me personally, not other people. It's just what I find enjoyment in is personal progress, and I'm not gonna bash anyone for enjoying video games, because back when I used to play them, they were pretty fun, but I am ultra competitive. It's a bit of a flaw of mine. My 2 favorite video games are Sonic Adventure 2 Battle and Super Smash Bros. Melee, and I was competitive in both. Melee in the competitive scene, and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, doing that speedrunning, hero story specifically. But I could never get City Escape Skip consistently, so I never really made it onto the leaderboards. My best time was like an hour, for not that good. My knuckle stages sucked, and I didn't have the time to practice those stages enough. But you're not going to be making any money doing speed running unless you're a streamer, and I am not. So powerlifting, and the only ways that you can make money powerlifting is if you start coaching, which I do online coaching. If you open a gym somehow, or if you produce YouTube videos, which that's what I do. But yeah, lower back pump on the last 2 sets of singles at 600. Everything. What? Oh, so I lost that train of thought. So if you're videoing for the sake of progress, and you should be looking for some sort of progress in your videos, what you're looking for on deadlifts specifically is that your hips and bar move up at the same time. So occasionally, I didn't check this with every single set, but I do send my coach every single set, and he checks that for me, which is part of the reason why you have a coach. But I was just making sure that the bar and the hips were going up at the same time. I did notice that I have a little bit of slack in my shoulders. Not my shoulders, but like when I start to pull, it's like I've got the bar whip, and I pull the bar whip, and then I've got arm whip too. So it's like, it's weird, because I am engaging my lats in the movement, and I'll see if coach says anything about that. But that's probably just natural, and I'm just too close to the meat to be thinking straight, and I'm overthinking things probably. So we moved on to the accessories, which were hip adductions. Yes, I do slur that word because I don't actually know nor care to find out whether or not it is abduction or adduction. But it's bikini girl shit. Supersetted with bottom half goblet squats. And then we finished off with calves. And then I had about 1,000 steps left. I didn't videotape myself doing my steps, but I jumped on the treadmill. And so I had a student today, and my phone's about to die, so I'll try to keep this brief. I had a student today who is deaf and had 2 paraprofessionals with them, both of them interpreters for sign language. And I'm just sitting there like, man, I took 12 years of French, mostly because 14 years of French, and I can barter at markets in French. Like, that's the extent of my French. It takes me like a minute, and then I can kind of click into the French mindset and be able to be fluent in French. And it feels kind of wasted, because if I never lived in Belgium, I would never have used French. But the amount of times that I could have used sign language is way through the roof. So I decided to download a couple apps on my phone, and while I'm doing Uber Eats, I'm gonna, instead of doom scrolling through YouTube Shorts, I plan on doing a little bit of learning for some American Sign Language, as well as reading to kind of enrich the mind. But my phone's about to die, so I can't really drone on much longer, so Patty out.